And what we're going to do here is I'm going to start discussing everything that has happened to me from the day I met this ex-girlfriend. And I think people need to know about it because, by the way, right now I'm dealing with a fractured face. I've been jumped over 7 times in the past 2 years. The cops have done nothing. They've got all the evidence. The court systems are playing games with me, the family court. And I'm out here on my own now, looking for help. I filed my own Supreme Court case. We're having problems serving the people. And when we do go serve the people and try to serve them through process servers, they avoid them. And then when they find out they're being served by us, then they come to my TikTok pages and they start violating me and attacking me and sending people after me and then, coming after me in person like they did, the last 7 times in the past year. So I will be coming live very soon here to discuss this. I mean, I'm dealing with a very serious injury right now. I was punched in my face this morning. When I went outside, this person was waiting for me. They seem to have violated my personal information and my rights on TikTok, and TikTok has allowed it. They even showed my location of where I live. It's very serious. And nobody's doing nothing about it. And they're literally sending me death threats and everything, telling me they're going to murder me. I'm not going to live to see, January next year. All kinds of stuff. My ex's family is all law. Her mother's an attorney. The aunt that she had, the people that she has in the family court fighting for her, they're her attorneys. I have restraining orders against her. She's violated her order at least 35 times since I've gotten it the last 3 years. The court knows that she's violated these orders. The court has all the evidence. My lawyers have all the evidence. She's stole my identity in 2017, May 5th, before she left. She took everything, all my hospital paperwork, my PayPal documents, all my store receipts, everything you can imagine that you would need in your life to move forward and get ahead. And she took that stuff and she used it for many years against me, and then she even took my company name. She's got my company name on her PayPal. She's using my company name on all her websites, saying that she owns my company, and nobody's doing nothing. It's like the court doesn't even bring up the identity theft. It's just very strange that they stay away from the identity theft, because that's why I filed the case. All right, guys, I'm going to continue this when I begin my documentary here on YouTube. And once I begin the documentary, I'm going to invite some people in that have witnessed all these things that have happened to me. And I'm going to turn off the echo. I'm going to bring in people that have watched what the cops have done. And mind it, everything that I'm telling you is on video. Everything. Every single thing that you can imagine, people jumping me, people putting guns at me. You can see me, people calling the cops on our phones, trying to help us, and the number is blocked by the 60th precinct. I got this on film. When I call them, I get an answering machine. And the cops never show up. When they do show up, they come in, they say, oh, we can't do nothing here, just block these people. And, these people are online and antagonizing me, doing everything they can, sharing my personal information. They were on a live on TikTok the other night while I was live in Brooklyn. And what they did is they went on a live and they were planning something against me. So you got thousands of people on this guy freaked out Danny's live, okay? And my fans were in there sticking up for me, and they actually warned me before I went live, but I didn't see the message. And they were showing my location and my live. They went on my live showing where I was at, and they're sitting, I wonder where this guy's at. Let's find him. You could see it in the text messages. Actually in the TikTok live, because I actually have a screen recording of the TikTok live. And that's because one of my gracious followers, a bunch of my followers went and they analyzed and watched what these people were doing, and they tried to report it to TikTok, saying they're sharing my friend's personal info, and they're saying they're going to kill him live on TikTok. And they did say this, and this is all screenshot. They've sent me messages saying they're going to murder me, they're going to murder my family, and they've sent me messages to me and my fiance saying they're going to pull up on us and they're going to punch the blind guy in his face, and they sure enough did And we went to the cops and we told the cops and showed them all the messages, death threats, and they did nothing to 60th precinct. So the next day after that, that next night, me and my fiance were walking in Brooklyn, and what happened was, basically they pulled up on us. They got out of the car. I got punched in my blind eye again. And then I ran after the vehicle, and I even got the license plate numbers. And then they pulled over again, and he got out of the car again in front of a store. There were many witnesses, and he punched me again in front of the store, knowing I was blind, okay? And he got pepper sprayed by somebody else. The cops were never called. The store never called the cops. So I went home, and we called the cops, and it took them 3 hours to get here after I was viciously assaulted and told I was going to be murdered and jumped the night before by the same people. And the cops did nothing about it. When they got here, they said, oh, just block them. We can't do nothing about it. I said, me showing you the video of them pulling up on me, pulling weapons, sending weapons, and telling us they're going to kill us. And the 60th precinct does nothing. Bind it, guys. This has been going on for 4 years now. And I've literally been jumped 7 times, okay? I'm blind in my left eye. I got into an accident in the apartment here 3 years ago. And I have an ex-fiance, we were engaged, and because, she couldn't deal with life, she stole everything from me. Her mother's a DA, the father works with the law. Her aunt is an attorney. I've got her in family court with restraining orders against her. The courts ain't doing nothing. They don't give a shit. All they care about is continuing the case for 3 years with no kids, allowing this girl to violate me. Oh, she's in California. The cops aren't going to go to California and arrest her. So even if she sets me up to be murdered, the cops aren't going to go to California and arrest her. Imagine that. And then the people that pulled up on us, the girl that was in the car with this person which is her boyfriend, is connected to my ex. She even admits it in messages stating that, she says, I'm best friends with your ex and you deserve everything she's doing to you. So now not only do I got 2 people attacking me, but I have organized crime groups attacking me all over TikTok. They stopped doing it on Facebook. They don't do it on Instagram no more, because it's too hard for them to do it there. But TikTok makes it very simple for people to attack people. They attack disabled people. They've been doing this to me for 4 years. She's had 500,000 person page banned, where I was almost making so much money that, even being blind and being disabled, I choose not to be on Social Security. I choose to continue to work and keep moving in my life, because I don't believe, in just sitting around and doing nothing. If I can move around, and even though I'm feeling that pain, I just put the pain aside and I pray to God and I ask him to just, help me through my day, But right now, this is the devil attacking me. The devil's attacking me. Because I do good things and I help people. I help people with cerebral palsy. I got people with autism. We design for people out there. We're helping many people, and these people are attacking everybody. They're attacking my witnesses. They're threatening people on TikTok. People are sending me messages and going, Paul, your ex and those people are threatening us, man. And, they're banning our pages and doing all this shit to us. And they still got my back. They don't care. They're like, I still got your back no matter what, brother. No matter what. You're good to everybody, and this is being done to you. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened on March 28th. So March 28th, I was live on TikTok just showing UFOs in the sky, as I've been doing for the last 30 days, okay? For the last 30 days, I literally had no violations whatsoever. The family court system I guess they pushed the order of protection a little more, okay? So what I did is I have a Supreme Court case against this girl. And we went and hired the process server on Thursday. Well, actually on Tuesday. So on Thursday, the process server started serving trying to serve Ashley Carter and my ex, who I already have in family court with an order of protection. And because the family court is not doing nothing while she violates this order, because she lives in California, so if she lives in another state, I guess it's okay for her to have somebody murdered, beat up, set up, and the messages are all there. You can't make this shit up, okay? You cannot make it up. It's the evidence is, forget about it. It's an outstanding amount of evidence. As my attorney in family court tells the judge, Your Honor, we have an extensive amount of evidence with an extensive amount of witnesses, including attorneys, doctors, lawyers, people who have seen these incidents happen. okay? And still, the family court keeps on prolonging and prolonging, and for some reason, they're allowing her to be in virtual court when during a trial, you're supposed to be in person no matter what. And they're allowing this, and they're not, they know that if she comes here, she's going to get arrested because there are police reports on her. So the court is actually stopping her from coming here. That doesn't make no sense, does it? Well, as I said, my ex's mother is a DA, okay, in Ohio. She's got a lot of pull in New York. They've even sent me messages that, Ashley's mother's a DA. Her aunt's an attorney. She's got a judge in the family. And it doesn't matter what you do, that, she can do whatever she wants to you. She can murder you and she'll get away with it. And that's how close we are now. So basically on the live on TikTok the other night, I was showing, the UFOs as I normally do. And I started explaining my eye injury. And I was explaining why I couldn't take the COVID shot because of this eye injury, which is close to the brain. And I lost, what happened was my ceiling in my apartment 3 years ago fell in my eyes, both of them. It literally destroyed the cornea of my left eye. It destroyed the optic nerve of the left eye. And it also damaged the right eye where I almost lost my sight in the right eye, okay? And, that's how that happened. So I was explaining to my followers on TikTok, about the eye injury and why I couldn't take the COVID shot, okay? And I kept explaining it to them, and then somebody went and reported me and said I was doing hate and harassment crimes and racial or whatever, and authenticity and integrity, saying that I'm an AI and I'm a fake person, So they had my live banned, okay? It was, actually restricted for 7 days, and I did nothing wrong. All I did was tell people about my eye, okay? And mind it, I've been on TikTok straight for 30 days now with no violations, okay? With over 1.7 million live views, with TikTok telling me you're a top creator, all this stuff they're telling me, okay? So I go and, go against to appeal it. I appeal it, and they're telling me they're not going to restore it, okay? Even after I showed them what other people were doing, that other people were on live sharing my location, showing where I was, mentioning they're going to find me. And TikTok allowed that, and they still allow it. They're putting my personal information out there, showing my address, having people come to my home and jump me. Well, what happened today is, and, we went to the cops last night, and we showed them all the evidence. I said, listen, they're threatening to come and jump me tomorrow. They're threatening me, and the cop goes, we can't really do nothing. You believe that? So there was an incident on August 25th of 2024. We were messaged guns. We were messaged all kinds of shit telling us they're going to pull up on us. They're going to punch the blind guy in the eye. They're going to do all this shit to us, okay? We went to the cops that night, and we showed them these text messages, and they did nothing, okay? So then we went back home. And the next day, as my wife and I were walking, they pulled up on us. They got out of the car. And, he hit me. And then he got back in the car. I chased after the vehicle. I got them on camera. I got their faces on camera. I got the license plate on camera. Nobody called the cops, and people were trying to call the cops, and they weren't answering, they're saying. So I do believe that because they don't answer their phones. And then they pulled over again. He got out of the car on camera, and he got in my face, and I'm telling him I'm blind and I can't see, and he still continued to hit me, okay? Thank God my fiance, she pepper sprayed him, and that's when it stopped. So then, after the fact of that, she's explaining to him that your girlfriend just got you after a blind guy. This guy is really blind, and you just punched my man in his face, and he's blind, and he's sitting there going, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You're sorry? You did know. Because you were told I was blind before you hit me twice. Okay, so he gets back in the vehicle, and they leave. It took the cops 3 hours to get here, and after showing them all that, all the text messages the night before of the threats, how they're going to come here and murder us, showing us guns, showing us the guns, Uzis that they had, all this shit in the text message, okay? With their phone numbers right there, how they're going to come and punch the blind guy in the face, how they're going to kill me, how they're going to do this and that. And then for them to actually show up and do it, how sick that is? And then the cops don't do nothing? You tell me to just block people that just came to my house after telling me they were going to come here and murder me, and they actually punch me in a fucking eye where I'm blind? And I have serious injuries in my eye already, and they notice. And then I go to the cops, and they finally come, they do the report. So yesterday I went out there, and they tell me the case is still open from August 25th, 2024. He said they put it on the shelf. He goes, and they don't have a name of the person. I said I provided them the license plate. They got all the videos of him beating me up on camera. I said, it's been sitting there for almost a year now. I said, what are they doing this? He goes, I don't know. I said, well, they need to arrest these motherfuckers. I said, because they're still coming after me and they're still attacking me. So the cop tells me this on camera. He goes, Mr. Mantia, I need you to go back home and I need you to find out who this guy is and find his name. I said, wait a minute. Isn't that your job? You're telling a victim of an assault, a serious assault, to go back home and find the person that assaulted me? A cop telling me to do his fucking job on camera? Are you kidding me? The fucking NYPD, the 60th precinct, these fucking pigs are going to tell the victim that was beat up with a fractured face to go and find the suspect that beat me up. Isn't that their fucking job? They got the license plate. So what does that tell you? 7 times I was jumped. These cops did nothing. I spoke to a sheriff today. You know what he tells me? That means that somebody inside that precinct is connected to this. So this is where I'm at right now. So this morning, after last night's threats all over the place, and I went to the cops last night with a flash drive explaining to them they're going to jump me again. I'm telling you, they've done this before. And he's telling me go home and find out what the suspect's name is. That's all he's concerned about. Not concerned about me, not concerned about my health, not concerned about my wife and my family's safety. The cop tells me to go home. And guess what? This morning I went up to the store. They were waiting for me downstairs. When I got out of the store, the guy goes like this. He called me a fucking cracker. He said, you know, oh, you think you're going to have people arrested? He goes, you deserve to get beat up. He said a whole bunch of shit. And I started recording him. And I'm telling him I'm blind and I have a brain injury for being hit the last time. And he's going, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to fucking punch you. And he's coming after me. I can't see out of this eye. The pressure's going up in this eye already, okay? So now I'm blurry vision in this eye. And he literally came up and punched me right in my face today. You see this? Literally punched me. I'm blind in this eye. He punched me in my face. And now my whole face is fractured. The cops did not go and arrest him. They did not find him. They never do anything. And all these people that have assaulted me 7 times are still out there and the cops never did anything. And I did report them to Internal Affairs. And guess what? Last night, I'm on the phone with Internal Affairs for the 105 times I've reported to Internal Affairs, okay? So last night, I'm on the phone with Internal Affairs, and actually the night before last, and I explained to them what happened and how I was threatened before I was jumped this morning. And Internal Affairs, you know, they're just like playing games with me, man, you know, playing fucking games. And I'm going, are you kidding me? Are you all in on this shit or what? Like, what's going on here? So he provides me a number, and he's telling me to send in, you know, evidence that I already provided to all of them. They got the cloud documents. All they got to do is open the fucking cloud. It's all there. I'm telling them, you got the cloud. Why don't you do your job and you go and look up what I sent you? I said, you mean you haven't gone in there and looked at what I sent you? So now he gives me a phone number and an email address. And he tells me, message me at that number, okay? And send me all the evidence that you have right now for what happened. So I texted him last night and I said, I'm blind. I need to relax because my pressure's going up. I said, I'll do this when my wife is awake in the morning where she can help me do this. So then again today I went and I contacted the Internal Affairs again and reported all these incidents. He got nasty with me. And I explained to him, I said, there was an officer on your line yesterday, a detective that I spoke to last night that gave me a number. And that number is not a real number. The person actually got back to me and said, nope, you got the wrong person here. I said, well, I wrote down the same number. And I even listened to the recording of him saying the number. He gave me the wrong number. And I think that was him on the phone tonight because I told him this. I said, listen, I've got the recording of you on the phone with me last night, giving me this number and this email address, Detective, Internal Affairs. I said, I got you on this number here. I said, is it possible, somebody goes like this to me today, is it possible, Paul, that when you call these numbers, that your number, that number is being redirected to another number and not going to the number that you're calling? I said, how can that be possible when I call Internal Affairs and it comes up with the machine? So, you know, I mean, it's just insane. This is insanity, this stuff, and I don't even know what to say here anymore. I can't believe that the officers have allowed these people to get away with this for a very long time now. They don't care, so it's telling me one thing, that somebody in that precinct is working with them. Because as I said, my ex's mother is a DA. Her aunt is a judge. Her other aunt that's in family court with me, where I filed a restraining order against her. She is her attorney in court, and I actually filed against her. I put her attorneys. I filed a Supreme Court case putting Ashley Carterman on it. I put her mother, the DA, on the Supreme Court case. I'm suing them all. A mother that's a DA is on that case. I filed against the attorneys that she has fighting for her in the family court right now with the order of protection I put against her. You know, they're on the court case. And then her accomplices, okay? I got a guy named Brian LePayower. I got another person, Jane Kravis, who set me up with all this shit. TikTok is on there. The New York PD 60th precinct. This is a big case that I filed. And when I filed the case and the judge saw the evidence, knowing that I have a family court case, and I'm telling them I have a restraining order and the court's not doing nothing because she's in California, and they refuse to go and get her in California, and they refuse to even have her come here to fight in court. You're not supposed to be in virtual court during trial. You're supposed to be in person no matter what during trial. So the court is going to make an exception for somebody who's been attacking me for 10 years with all this evidence? Really? So what is the big problem there? Well, it's common sense that because her parents and her family members are law and DAs and all this shit, that they're protecting her. It's that simple. But I'm not the only guy she's done this to. There's 7 other people that are witnesses for this case that she's done this to. And they got all the evidence. They even got evidence from the witnesses. They're threatening my witnesses. They're threatening everybody, and they're not doing nothing in the family court. So now the Supreme Court, we went and hired ABC Process Servers twice already. They failed to serve her attorney, Michelle Bergevin, who is right in Niagara Falls. She lives in the same place that she has her attorney's office, okay? But now mind it, when you file a lawsuit against an attorney, okay, and you file a lawsuit against the attorney's client, who is the suspect that done this to you, when that attorney is still fighting in a family court with an active court case at Supreme Court, and she's still fighting for her in family court, by the way, that's conflict of interest. She's got to sign herself off of the case because I got a case against her attorney, my ex, okay, that's in family court with me. You can't fight for somebody when you have somebody else in the other courtroom. You can't. I got her attorney. Listen, for people that just showed up, imagine this. You got an ex-girlfriend who has a mother that's an attorney and her aunt that's an attorney. You file a restraining order with the family court, okay, for all the attacks they done to you, all right? You're in court for 3 fucking years. The girl violates the order over 35 times with over 35 police reports, okay? The cops are telling you we can't go to California and get her no matter what she does. The courts are telling you they're not going to go to California and get her. So what the fuck does this order of protection mean if you can't do nothing about it? No third-party contacts. Third parties are jumping me and beating me up, okay? All on fucking camera. Nobody does a fucking thing. What is that telling you? That evidently the parents got more pulled than the fucking cops, more pulled than the fucking law itself? Excuse me? And you got the aunt, I got the aunt that's fighting for her in family court. She's an attorney fighting for my ex. I took them to the Supreme Court. It's an active case. Guys, you could go look it up. I'll give you the case files. It's Kings County Supreme Civil Court, okay? The case index number is 694/2024. All you got to do is go to eCourts, okay? Brooklyn eCourts. You type in Google eCourts, Brooklyn, New York. It'll come up right on the top of the search engine. You click that. It's going to take you to another page, okay? And on the left of the page, zoom in on it. I have to zoom in because I'm blind. So on the left of the page, it'll say web, not criminal. It's going to be web. Okay, listen to me now. Supreme Court, okay? So you go into that as civil, Supreme Civil Court. You go click on that. It's going to take you to another page. There's going to be a scroll bar. It's going to tell you to put the name of the court in. You put Kings County Supreme Court in, okay? And then where it says index number, you're going to put the index number 694/2024 in, okay? And then it's going to pull up, it's going to come up, and there's going to be clicked so you're not a robot, and it's going to take you to the case files. And then you click on the index number in the case, and you'll see it. Ashley Carterman, I filed a Supreme Court case. And you'll see all their names on it. You'll see her attorney that's fighting for her in family court, who is Michelle Bergevin, okay? Bergevin. and they own Bergevin Law in Niagara Falls. Okay, so remember, Michelle Bergevin, Ashley Carterman is my ex. Ashley Carterman, Michelle Bergevin is her aunt, who's her attorney in the family court, where I filed an order of protection against her. I got an order of protection 3 years now. Okay, but we're going on trial in July. So then, being that the order of protection doesn't work, I went to Supreme Court because the judge in family court said, Mr. Mantia, file a Supreme Court civil court case. Okay, I went and did that. I filed the case. The judge appointed me an IFP, giving me a free case because of my disability and seeing what they've done to me, okay? And the only thing the judge asked was for me to serve them. And the only way to serve them, you can't go through email with Supreme Court. You got to serve them. It's got to be through a process server in person. Okay, well, we got Michelle Bergman. We went and filed, went to ABC process server, and they tried serving her, and they told her she was out of the country. She's not here. She avoided an attorney, avoiding being served by a Supreme Court. Okay, that's serious. An attorney avoiding being served, running away from the fucking process server. And the process server wrote it up in the description of why he couldn't serve her. He said, they gave me excuses. I tried to serve her. She ran away from me, and that's it. That's it. They can't, what are they going to do at that point? So now we went and filed with ABC again to go after the ex in California. All right. And this was on Thursday. Now, remember, it's been 30 days since I had a violation on TikTok because they enforced the order. Well, once I went and tried to have her served, the minute that happened, she started attacking me immediately. Okay. Because now she's scared. So when people get scared and they know they can serve 50 years for what she's done. Okay. When they get scared like that, after a while, they don't care no more because they already know they're in so much trouble. To them, why not? Well, if he's going to put me away for life or whatever the case is, then I'm going to just kill him. Okay? Or I'm going to try to find a way to do this or get rid of him so he can't get me into the courtroom. So she's avoiding being served for the last 2 days. Friday night, my TikTok page, my live, was restricted for no reason. And then after that, I was viciously attacked. They violated every single video. They violated my dog video. They violated my eye video. They violated a video that I posted up of what they actually did to me on TikTok. And TikTok allowed them to violate that video. So TikTok doesn't want to be known for the shit that they do. They'll silence you if you put up anything that they do to you. You understand that? So that's why I filed a case against them too. They're also on the Supreme Court case, TikTok, all right? And basically, so now I'm at the point where tomorrow I'm going to be seeing the Senate. I'm going to the Homeland Security because the person that jumped me today is an illegal immigrant. And you know what this guy does? And the cops knows what he does. He sits on the corners of the streets here and selling drugs. And they know he sells drugs. He also sits upstairs at the train station, opening the door and taking $2 for each person taken away from the MTA. He's opening the door and letting them through and taking the money for $2 instead of them having to pay $4, okay? And the cops know he does this. And he sits up there at the train station all day taking their money. And guess what? The cops are being paid by him. He pays them a percentage, and boom. But we got this on camera. So I'm focused on the DA, and, I can also bring people live, too, on here, I just got to figure out how we do that on YouTube here. But we're gonna direct all of our followers from TikTok right here. But what I'm going to do is, hey, brother, I got your phone number. I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to end the live, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to post up on TikTok that this is where we're going to be for now on. Because I can actually zoom in, I believe I could zoom in. Oh, yeah. I could zoom in. What I'll do is I'll get a new camera for this. And we're going to start going back out after my eye heals. You got to give it a couple of days now because, you see this? This is where I was punched this morning. Remember, I'm already blind to the side. You see what's going on here? You see how it's welting already? All right? And it's all bruised up. Well, from prior attacks, both of my cheeks are fractured. They both healed fractured, okay? And now again today I was hit. So that adds on to the healed fractures. And you see how my nose is? You see how it's flattened up here? You see when you look up how one nostril is bigger than the other nostril? So when they hit me, they pushed that nostril down. You understand? So now in order to repair this damage, I have to get screws and bolts put in my face so they can reconstruct the damaged bones that are shattered inside my face from being attacked. The cops never arrested anybody, and they have all the evidence. And you see this? I have a feeling that the cops played a part in this today, that they set me up because they know that they can go to jail for what they've done by not doing their jobs. So you see, guys, I'm blind in this eye already. And these people know that I'm blind. And these people were sent by people on TikTok to jump me. They were waiting downstairs outside my house today. And when I got back from the store and walked out of the store, started saying things to me and calling me a white boy, a white cracker, all kinds of shit. I don't know this guy like that. And then he's saying I owe him $15. I don't know nobody, no money around here. I don't associate with anybody. I stay home. I keep to myself, me and my fiance. We don't have no damn friends around here. My friends are online. My friends are watching me now. My friends watch me on TikTok. I can't trust nobody. I can't trust friends. You can't trust friends when you own a recording studio and, you got beautiful stuff. You can't trust friends around here because most of the people around here are on fucking heroin. They're on crack. They're on fucking meth. They're on fucking trank. You can't find a real friend around here, and then most of the adults, they don't even speak English because they're from other countries, So it kind of sucks because, you're kind of like by yourself, but you're not. You got your family, but sometimes you like to have friends. And when you can't trust your friends, look what happens. And, this has put me through hell. And with this ex, I've been going through this for 10 years. 10 years now. 10 years. I've only told you guys, part of what's gone on. So what we're going to do is once I learn how to use the YouTube, and I know that I can put green screen up and I can show you the evidence right here. We can even play the videos for you right here. I can show you everything from day one of what I've been through. But what I'm going to ask people on YouTube to help me do is being that, I'm going through these complications with my eye right now. I'm having problems with this eye right now because the pressure is going up and they gave me new medicine. The pressure was 38 3 days ago. 38, I could go blind completely. The octave nerve can go. And see, these people know that I'm blind and they'll do anything to harass me, to, do whatever they can to get at me. And when they do get at me, I try to stay calm, but how can you stay calm when somebody's beating you up and you can't see them coming and they're punching you in the eye that you're blinded and trying to destroy the eye even more when they're texting you, telling you you're going to have real health problems if you're going to have me arrested. Imagine writing that in the text and then writing that me and my lawyer are going to get smacked up with a gun, me and my attorneys, and I submitted that and they're not doing nothing about this. Not even my attorney got fazed by it. And I showed her that message. She didn't even get fazed. I'm like, do you see what he wrote? They wrote that they're going to shoot me and you. I'm like, don't you take that serious? You're an attorney getting fucking threatened with a gun? So something doesn't make sense. Who are they protecting? They're protecting her because her parents are law enforcement and judges and lawyers and DAs. So, guys, you got to give me a couple of days, man. I did try to sing earlier on a test and it's not working out. I mean, my brain is too stressed out. My body's stressed on that. I'm not only going through these eye injuries and that my eye is still healing. I just saw my doctor and he goes, there's something wrong because you're blurry eyed, but your eyes are healing. He goes, the octave nerve is bad, but in this eye, but he goes, but then the cornea is good. He goes, so something's not adding up with the levels. He goes, have you ever had a brain scan? And then I said, well, you remember when I got punched the first time? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, did the cops arrest him? I said, no. He goes, you're kidding me. I said, nope, never arrested them. He goes, well, I'm going to set up an emergency brain scan for you. So I didn't have to do that because being I got jumped and punched today, the hospital did the brain scan. Okay. But they found nothing wrong in the brain, but you got to get a second opinion. I trust my specialist before I trust the hospital, So, in the brain scan, they saw that my face is fractured and it healed fractured. Okay. So why didn't the doctors, when I went to the hospital, when I got punched the last time, why didn't they see that my face was fractured and my nose was broken? You see that? One nostril bigger than the other. My whole face is fractured. Why didn't they see that? That doesn't make sense. They should have saw fractured bones in the face. So now they healed that way. So now in order to reconstruct those bones, do you know what they got to do to you? They got to put screws and bolts in your face for 1 year. You got to stay like that. Do you think I want to go through that? I'm 52 years old. Do I deserve to go through that? You know what I do? I help people with autism. I help people with cerebral palsy. I help the elderly people out when they're getting attacked. And why should I have to deal with something like this when I'm helping other people? I'm doing the work of God, giving my heart to people, and I'm getting attacked and they're not doing nothing to save me or help me? Isn't law enforcement supposed to be there to protect you? Don't we pay taxes for them to protect us? Instead, they get involved in it and they're involved in it. You know, I spoke to a sheriff today in the hospital. He said, you know what? From what you just showed me and from what you showed me about what the officer is talking to you like that, he goes, there's somebody in that department. There's somebody in that department that's connected to this and protecting them because evidently the one that in the department has to be a detective. The detective has failed to give the court any evidence. They didn't give evidence. They failed. All right, guys, listen, you have a great night. We're going to see you soon.